Wake up, scroll on TikTok, get coffee, checking emails to see we regret to inform you, locking in and applying to more jobs, refreshing LinkedIn, getting ghosted, crash out nap, apply to more jobs, crying, dinner, scroll some more on TikTok, and then sleep.
Okay, being unemployed and burnt out from constantly applying for jobs is such a real thing right now. And I've just been looking at my job tracker okay, I'm applying for job after job after job, and none of these says offer sent. I just keep clicking rejected, rejected, rejected. And I was sharing this with a friend the other day, and she's a professional contact and a friend. And she was explaining to me, she's like, well, you're getting burnt out because you're just applying for all these things and there's no tangible conversation or anything, and then you're just getting a rejection email. You're just getting mass rejected all the time, and so that's wearing on you.
Welcome to the Common Sense Philosophy channel. Today's video is called Unemployment Burnt Out, or just hopeless. Unemployed, burnt out, or just hopeless. I know everybody's paying attention to what's going on, far as the stats, far as how much employment is out there. The job market is looking crazier and crazier to certain people every day. I see it from the layoffs to the payoffs to the letting people go a little early, bringing them back in. It's just a lot going on. And you look at people that have been out the job market for 3, 6, people going on a year, putting in application after application after application, doing 30 interviews. I seen one person say they put out 100 applications, did about 35 to 40 interviews, and they did, I say about 15 callbacks, and then no job offers. It's just the craziest thing. All that 100 applications, just the window down to no job. And as you think about it, you're like, how could that be in this world? Well, it's definitely happening. It's definitely happening. Our people every day are getting up, trying to get jobs, and they're just not getting them. And but you hear people say there's jobs everywhere. So I guess it comes down to people are not getting the jobs that they want. And I actually understand this. It has nothing to do with just laziness, because I think poor people do the worst jobs in the world. They clean the toilets. They do. So I don't think it has anything to do with laziness, because most of them people that's under the poverty line work 2, 3 jobs. I think if you get an education, or you pay for an education, or whatever it is to get a specialty, you would like to get a job that match up to the education that you're still paying for. And I think that turns people off a little bit when they can't get employed there, and they step down and they still can't get employed there. I think that's bothering people. But, thanks for checking out the Common Sense Philosophy channel. Like and subscribe on your way out. Always remember to use your common sense and don't be afraid to philosophize. Also, check these videos out, because I put some clips and videos for you guys to watch so you can hear different people's perspective. But I also hope you go down in the comment section and leave your perspective, because your voice is important too. So remember, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Yep.
And so she was like, if I were you, I would only track the jobs where you have a warm contact or warm introduction or a referral, or you spoke to the hiring manager, and put that on your list. Because she's like, there's so many people right now that are saying I apply to 100 jobs a week, or I apply to whatever. And it's this insanely drastic number. And she's like, I'd be curious to know how many of those are real warm introductions and applications, or those are just mass apply, click submit application, your information goes into the abyss and you never hear anything again.
I think that feels a little bit wrong to admit. I've been unemployed for so long that I'm really not excited to go back to another corporate position at this point. And the thing is, people keep rooting for me like, oh, you're gonna find such a badass corporate job. But people don't realize that's not even what I want anymore. After sitting with myself after so many rejections, I'm like, why am I even chasing this in the first place? It almost makes me uncomfortable when people project that version of success onto me. I'm not unmotivated and I'm not giving up. I just don't feel right running back to something that drained me and then calling it a win.
I'm starting to get burned out with all of the interviews. Having kind of a weird day, despite the fact that things are moving in a positive direction. And I think that that's because I'm getting closer and closer to that date where I'm going to run out of money. And so my anxiety is starting to creep up. If you guys are new here, my name's Leigh. I got laid off 3 times in a 15-month period, and I'm currently navigating the 3rd time. Today is Monday, January 5th. And I've been feeling really positive. I've been doing a much, much better job this time around from the layoff perspective than I did the first 2 times I got laid off. The first 2 times I got laid off, I was freaking out. I was walking around the house crying. I was coming to conclusion that the worst of the worst was going to happen. And in both of those situations, I found a job really, really fast. This time, however, it's been longer. And I know that the job market is much more competitive and it's much more saturated with eligible candidates than it was the first 2 times. And just in general, everything's just insane. But interviewing as much as I have is starting to take a toll on me. And what I mean by that is I don't spend hours and hours getting prepped for an interview, but having to turn on the positivity and scrambling through answers for questions because I'm trying to come up with real life examples, and just the level of energy that's required to interview, whether you prepare or not, is a lot. And as of today, it's been 44 business days since I was last laid off. I have 45 interviews scheduled, meaning I've already either gone through it or it's already on the calendar. And 6 of those alone are this week. I have 3 interviews pending, and all of this across 23 companies. Now, that being said, we all know that I just finished my final interview with one of my top companies on Friday, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are dying to hear how that went. I have something in my mouth, and I'll tell you about it in just a second, but I'm starting to get burned out because even though my stats are pretty good and I have been consistently interviewing and, overall things are going okay, I don't have a job offer yet, and it's starting to frustrate me. I'm just starting to kind of get a little bit worn down. And so that's part of the reason I took a break over the weekend, was I was trying to write out my goals and really plan out what I want things to look like for me going forward before I start deteriorating even more.
Jobs every single day will burn you out. Being in survival mode every single day will burn you out. I have an associate's in science, a bachelor's degree in communication and technology, and a master's in business, and I've been unemployed for 2 years. I'm telling you from experience, all of that stress, all of that worry, all of that rejection will burn you out. You have to stop. As difficult as it is, because you trained your mind that if you're not working, then you need to be working overtime to try to find work, that somewhere in your mind chemically that balances out you not having work. And it's not true. It's only gonna burn you out. For the first 6 months of this year, 8 months really, I applied every single day for 4 to 6 hours every day, to the point where when I went and picked up my son from school, I would come home and keep working on applying. All I did was gain weight. I was stressed. My cortisol levels were high. My face was swollen all the time. I never had clothes on. My hair was never done. I looked the absolute worst that I could. I looked exactly like what I was going through. And I'm telling you from experience, you cannot live like that. I was only existing. I was not living. So now, on the other side of this, I decided on September 1st that I was just going to give myself a job. And if nobody wanted to hire me, I'll just be a content creator. I am a content creator. But even before that, as I slowly moved into, I want to be somebody new, I said, I'm still going to apply for jobs, but I'm going to apply for jobs 3 times out of the week, only for an hour and 30 minutes every single day.
Is that they are in front of their computers for the entire day, 8 hours a day, looking for their next thing. And they feel like that they have to do that in order to find it, just because there's anxiety about how many people are flooding the market. There's articles every day about layoffs and how many people have lost their jobs. So there's this feeling of urgency that they have to do more and more and more every day to find the next thing. I would say, I would give the advice to sort of, pace yourself. Not that the work isn't necessary, but I'm finding that my clients are in the market way longer than they expect to be. So, they are making those decisions about staying in front of their computer 8 hours every day because they think they're only going to be in the market for maybe a month or two. But if it's twice as long, if it's 3 times as long, you can essentially burn yourself out.
I've been crying and I don't know why. I'm thinking it's, for me, this is what I'm thinking, that it's a burnout because I'm extremely tired. Just with juggling everything, juggling life, juggling kids. And it's not even, I hate crying because I feel so weak when I cry. Because to me, crying gives lack, it gives weakness and all of that. And that's none of that. I'm not weak. I'm actually very strong. I'm not lacking anything. But I still cry typically during the work week. I haven't even made it to work for today yet, and I'm crying. So I feel like maybe it's the job adding on to the stress. I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily feel fulfilled in life. Like I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I create my days. I feel like my days are created for me. Being that I have kids, being that I got a full-time job, my days are made for me. I don't choose what I'm gonna do each day. It's you know what I'm saying?
So long that I'm honestly not excited to go back to work at a corporate job at this point. The thing is like people keep rooting for me, like, oh, don't worry, you're gonna find like such a badass corporate job. And people don't realize that like because of the job market, it's not even what I want anymore, I don't think. After sitting with myself, after all the rejections, I'm like, what am I even doing at this point? Why am I even chasing this in the first place? It like almost makes me uncomfortable when people like project that version of success onto me. I'm not unmotivated and I'm not giving up. I have been using Sprout to just swipe to apply to jobs, but like all the rejections and everything and going to so many interviews, it's hard.
Completely burned out. I've been unemployed for almost 2 years. I have an associate's degree in science, a bachelor's degree in communication and technology, and a master's in business, and I cannot get a job. The reason I've been burnt out is because I do all of the things, right? I optimize my resume using AI. I use a search engine optimizer with the AWS system. I've had somebody pay for my resume. I went to career services, all of the things, and I still cannot get a call back. That burns you out. Outside of doing the physical labor of all of the things and not getting a call back, it is something that is so daunting about doing all of the things and thinking you did every single thing right as far as education and career, and you receive rejection email after rejection email after rejection email, and you know for a fact no human looked at anything that you worked so hard on. For a minute, it had me questioning me. Like, am I good? Like, is anything that I ever did in my career, was it good? Was it helpful? Was it conducive? Was it anything? But now I'm in the stage of where I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table, and it's your loss. You don't even know it, but it's your loss.
I'm never getting a job. It's 1:30 in the morning on a Sunday, and I get to go to Taco Bell because I don't have to wake up to work a shitty job that I don't like. There's no boss that can ever tell me that I'm a bad employee again because I'm never going to work. I love unemployment. I get to do whatever I want. No one can stop me. I'm never getting a job. I'll never work again. Try and stop me. I love unemployment. I'm never getting a job.